Hello everyone, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name's Deshaun, and today I'm here to talk about the last season of Clone Wars Season 7. My thoughts on the entirety of Season 7. Now, I have never reviewed Clone Wars on here, because by the time I started watching Clone Wars, Season 6 had ended like years ago. Season 6 had ended a while ago, and it felt like weird to review something that had ended so long ago. But they brought it back, obviously, with Season 7, building up for, May the 4th, which there was some news that came out on May the 4th. Some of it I had already talked about, which is why I never made a video about it, but some of it was like, okay, sure. I'd never watched Russian Doll, so I didn't really report on that, so I couldn't really give you, whenever I don't make a video about something, it's because I can't really give you too much about it, because I don't know too much about it to give you. But this, I watched Season 7 through and through. I've watched all of Clone Wars. Now, first of all, I watched all of Clone Wars back when it was on Netflix. And I never finished Season 6. I got like halfway through Season 6 and stopped because I started to get depressed because Clone Wars has done such a fantastic job of justifying the existence of the prequels. Just justifying the existence of them. Because the prequels are not well put together. They're all just like they're just like pockets. Watching the prequels are as if someone told you World War II was simply Pearl Harbor, D-Day, and Pearl Harbor, D-Day, and the day we dropped the bombs on the Japanese. Like if someone just told you, oh, that's all it is these three things. That's it. That's what World War II was. That's what the Star Wars prequels were like. And the actual Clone Wars series goes into the nitty gritty of that, goes into the specifics of that, goes into how we got here, goes into how Anakin got there, it does such a good, because in the original trilogy, Anakin's turn is so sudden and so out of the blue, and it just feels like he wouldn't turn so fast. It feels like you would have to be a lot more than just this to get him to turn. But then when you watch the Clone Wars, you go, oh, okay, it was always in him. And Clone Wars introduced a fan favorite, Ahsoka. Made a video about her before, about her being introduced in Mandalorian, so it introduced Ahsoka. But Clone Wars was always a fun show, really getting into the nitty-gritty, really getting into the wars of Star Wars, the sacrifices, the mistakes, the losses, the wins, the small victories, the build-up, the idea of something. I mean, you learn that Obi-Wan had a lover. He had a lover, and he was debating running off with her. You learn that Darth Maul is not dead. Somehow he's not dead. You learn that Darth Maul isn't dead. You learn how many times the Jedi have come so close to finding out about Order 66. You just learn so many things watching Clone Wars, and Clone Wars is just a fun time to watch if you're a Star Wars fan. So I finished up Season 6, before Season 7 started. I was like, you know what, let me finish this up and watch it, And, obviously was getting for Season 6 still was pretty rough, just because, they were so close to finding out what Order 66 was, but not close enough. But Season 7 is I have dividing opinions. I didn't mind Season 7. Season 7, I don't think was the best season, but it still was an entertaining season. The last 4 episodes in particular were some of the best episodes in the Clone Wars. But I will say, I enjoyed the Bad Batch stuff. The Bad Batch stuff, weirdly how they did it, because usually, this kind of an anthology. There's just, each individual episode may not even be connected to the next episode. It's just, some event that happened and during the Clone Wars. But in this one, it's there's 3 episodes dedicated to the Bad Batch, which is this episode about, these bad clones that were born with deformities, that were born with mutations that might be desirable, meaning mutations that might make them actually enhanced in combat, but not a perfect clone, so they're the Bad Batch. They either have more hair than the others, one of them looks different, doesn't even look like a normal clone. One of them's huge and muscly and just massively strong. One of them looks like an old man, looks kind of old. There's different versions, there's different ones of them. And the Bad Batch stuff was fun because it was classic Clone Wars war stuff. And I love that stuff. I love the Clone Wars actual war stuff, the strategies, the ideas, and them having to work their way past things. I love that stuff. That stuff is fun. But then you get to the entrance of Ahsoka, and she meets these 2 girls who are in over their head and crime shit, and it kind of slows down to a halt. That 3 to 4 episode arc was okay. But then you get to when Revenge of the Sith happens, and it starts to escalate. It starts to build. Ahsoka meets Anakin again. It's a build up. Then you get this battle that's been teased in the trailer between Darth Maul and Ahsoka, and it is awesome. I shit you not, it is freaking awesome. And they got Dueling Fate. I always say that name. Is it Dueling Fate or Fate of the Duel? Either way, they got that song playing in the background, which is an amazing song, which is the best part of Phantom Menace, if we're being honest. Phantom Menace is literally an ending. Because the rest of that movie is not good. But anyways, yeah, and they got that playing, got Darth Maul doing his thing, and it was great. That episode in particular was fantastic. And it all builds up to, in the background, the events of Revenge of the Sith are happening. All the events, from Obi-Wan killing Grievous to Mace Windu getting killed by Anakin, to Anakin eventually becoming Darth Vader. And it all happens, and Order 66 goes down. Order 66 goes down, and Ahsoka's being attacked, and Darth Maul is like, there's so much going on in those final 4 episodes. What I have to say at the end of the day, Season 7, as a season in the many of the other seasons, I don't know how great it is as a whole, but the last 4 episodes made it worth it. It made it completely worth it. Those 4 episodes were great. They set Ahsoka up greatly. They set Rex up. Rex up. Not Rex. Rex up greatly. They did so much for the story, and it was just, like I said, and it was really sad. It was really sad because you already knew where it was going. But it was really sad to see Ahsoka fight for Anakin, because apparently Darth Maul had freaking visions of what Anakin was gonna be. He had visions of something going bad, and he was like, he had visions. He's like, because he was trying to warn her. He's like, look, the Emperor is trying some shit. I don't know what it is, but he's doing some shit. And the only way we can do this is we do it together. Now, granted, he was bullshitting. What he really want to do is just replace the Emperor. Help me kill the Emperor, and then we'll just replace him, and I'll be. And it's like, oh yeah, that's basically kind of where Ahsoka kind of drew the line. It's like, yeah, so what? So you can replace him? The problem is Ahsoka defended Anakin. She said Anakin can never be this evil. She can never be this guy, and he does become that guy. And it's sad to see how hard she fought for him, knowing that he was gonna let her down in the end. And, like I said, like, he was consumed by his, like, he got consumed by his hatred and whatnot. It happened. It did go down, and, like, she sensed it go down when it went down, and, like, Order 66 was given. It took her everything to survive it. Maul survived. Maul got away. He stole the ship and got away. Maul had some awesome, like Darth Vader from, goddamn Rogue One scene where he's just destroying these clones. He doesn't even have a lightsaber. He's just using the Force and just throwing shit at them and decapitating them and stuff. And I was like, jeez, man, Darth Maul. But yeah, man, I had fun with this season. I don't think it's as good as the other seasons. I would give Clone Wars Season 7 about a 7. I'd give it a 7. I think the last 4 episodes were fantastic. I thought those were some of the best Star Wars ever. But the middle episode was really weak. I didn't hate it like some people did. I didn't think it was the dog crap like some people did. But I didn't love it either. I thought it was okay. And I liked the Bad Batch stuff. But it wasn't anything crazy or different than what I've usually seen from Clone Wars. And it didn't push really a lot of things forward. So I couldn't really say anything about it. So I was like, eh. So overall, I'll give Clone Wars Season 7 a 7. Enjoyable. Great ending for May the 4th, and I had a great time watching it. Thank you guys for joining the Kevin Game Movie Show. Please remember to like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.